What do you think? The Ottoman Empire cut the positive perception of Islam among the Christians or not?
There are certain positive aspects of Ottoman rule. For example, the last free and fair market that the world experienced was the market of the Ottoman Empire, where they used gold and silver coins as money. They had police in the market, and anyone found violating the law of business in the market, for example, in debasing the coin and chipping the coin, they would be arrested. The magistrates were in the market. They'll be tried in the market and they'll be punished in the market. So the Ottoman Empire has to be credited for preserving the free and the fair market, the last people in the world. Secondly, the Ottoman Empire was able to bring people of many different nations and tribes and to live harmoniously. And Western civilization says, no, you have to integrate into our way of life. So take off your hijab. It's shameful. They should learn from the Ottoman Empire. So when the Ottoman Empire did something good, I have to credit them for it. But when they wage bogus war, violating the law of war in the Quran, in conquering Constantinople as they did in 1453, I have to call a spade a spade. I have no hesitation in speaking this way. And when he conquered Constantinople, what's the first thing that he did? The Quran orders the believers to protect the church, the cathedral, the Jewish synagogue, the masjid. Fight if necessary to protect them. Instead of protecting Hagia Sophia, what he did, to the eternal shame and disgrace of the world of Islam, he converted Hagia Sophia to a masjid. And that was shameful, that was disgraceful, that was sinful.
Sheikh, we are speaking about Constantinople, about Hagia Sophia. We know that the fascistic methodology to Islamize the whole human value Hagia Sophia by the fascistic regime of Turkey is a new conflict nowadays. For the Third Rome Estafette, for Russia, for Christian world in general, and between the Islamic world. What do you think?
The last thing that the enemy wants, and the enemy are those who use power to take control of the world in the wars of imperialism and colonization of the world. And then when they had controlled the world and corrupted the world with their indescribable capacity to corrupt and to destroy, they then brought the Jews back to Jerusalem to reclaim it as their own. The Quran identifies them as Gog and Magog. This is Islamic eschatology. The last thing that they want to see is an alliance between the world of Islam and the world of Orthodox Christianity. The next last thing they want to see is an alliance between Russia and China.
Armenians, Assyrians, many other national and religious minorities during the Ottoman Empire were loyal citizens of that state, of that empire. But Armenians also were Zimmis, Al-Zimma. Let me make a quotation from the Holy Quran. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يقول تعالى: لا ينهاكم الله عن الذين يقاتلوكم في الدين ولم يخرجوكم من دياركم أن تبروهم وتقسطوا إليهم إن الله يحب المقسطين. صدق الله العظيم. Surah Al-Mumtahana. The core concept and column of Islam is justice. To what extent do Turkey has a connection nowadays with justice and Islam?
Now we have to go back to the term zimmi before we can turn to modern day. You quoted from the Quran.
Yes.
A Christian would become a zimmi in the territory of Islam or Darul Islam only when you have waged war against them and defeated them, provided it is a just war. And the law of war in Islam is that you must first explore and exhaust all possible peaceful means of resolving a problem which provokes war before you wage war. The Ottoman Empire was created to wage war. It was a war machine from day one to the end of the world.
Armenians deported from their homeland, their property was stolen, and savage criminal genocide occurred against them between 1925 and 1915 and 1923. Nowadays, we have more than 5 million Armenians who adopted Islam as a religion, but they are living on their homeland. My question is, how Islam can identify this problem?
Were the Armenians zimmis? Can you describe them and categorize the Armenians in the Ottoman Empire as zimmis?
They were zimmis.
No, that's what the Ottoman Empire did. But today, here, it is the truth which must prevail. Did the Ottoman Empire wage a just war on the Armenians? Which schoolboy would say that?
It was a planned and organized strategy against Armenians to make a genocide against them.
They had a bigger plan than that. What the Ottoman Empire was doing from an eschatological viewpoint is they were sabotaging over 600 years, and their successors are continuing that evil work of sabotaging end-time reconciliation, friendship and alliance between our two peoples. So the Armenians were not zimmis in our law. In Ottoman law, yes.
Yes.
But they were not zimmis. They were not zimmis. When a people have not, they don't have the status of zimmis, and they are in the Darul Islam, and they are Christians, they are Jews, then our law is that we have to build a plural model, a political model that is a plural model, to accommodate them with us so that they will have their freedom and we'll have our freedom, which is what our Prophet did in Medina, the plural model of a state. That's the alternative to Zimmi. But Ottoman Empire didn't care for the Quran. And today it must be said as plainly and clearly as possible. They converted Hagia Sophia to a masjid, to the eternal shame and disgrace of the world of Islam. And now the latter-day Ottomans have done it for the second time. And my voice is being raised to condemn that and to tell them that when we conquer Constantinople, not just the Bosphorus will be opened, but we will return Hagia Sophia to those to whom it rightfully belongs. When I went to the University of Belgrade and I spoke in the auditorium packed, they were crying. They were crying when they heard these words, because nobody ever told this to them. But in addition to that, when we conquer Constantinople, the law of Islam is that you must stand with the oppressed, not the oppressor. And a people who have been driven from their homes and from their land, their homeland for no just cause, when we conquer Constantinople, Abraham, they have the right to return.